Hi, everyone, and welcome. I am Joanne, founder of Animal Communication Insights and author of Conversations with Companions. I'm so excited to share with you something special today. We are launching 2 new digital card decks that are all about helping you connect better with your pets and animal companions. First, let me tell you about the Animal Communication Conversations cards. This 62 card deck has a bunch of questions divided into curiosity, concern, and contemplation categories. They are designed to help pet parents, animal communication enthusiasts, animal lovers move beyond the same old questions and dive deeper into meaningful conversations with their pets and animal companions. Then we have the Animal Communication Deep Speak cards. This 44 card deck is all about encouraging intuitive communication without worrying about getting the right answers. Whether you're just starting out or have been communicating with animals for a while, these cards will help you practice and explore in a fun and creative way. Today, I am thrilled to be chatting with members in my community who are involved in the creation of these card decks. And we will be discussing some of the surprising and meaningful insights that they have gained through animal communication. We'll also talk about how these cards help take the pressure off and make communicating more creative, and how they can help anyone who's feeling stuck or unsure about where to start. Let's welcome Cheryl and dive into this exciting conversation. Thanks for being here, and I hope you enjoy our chat. Welcome. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us who your featured animals are in the Deep Speak cards deck?
Hello, Joanne. Thank you for having me. My name is Cheryl Parrott. I live in Elkhart, Indiana, USA. I have 2 featured pets. I'm so honored in our Deep Speak deck. Ella, who is a 16-month-old puppy, Shiba Inu rescue, and Kody, who's in spirit, who is also was a rescue. And I talk with him daily.
Oh, that sounds amazing. We love pet parents who speak to their animals daily, and I bet they do
Daily.
too. Can you
Yes, yes.
can you share a bit of your background in animal communication and also how you came to join Joanne and Dad's community?
Absolutely. So it's been roughly 10 years ago, and with most pet parents, you run into a situation with your animal, and I had one whose health conditions were very challenging, and I intuitively or instinctively knew there was more than just what happens at the vet. And I was guided, I believe, to find an animal communicator back in, I'm going to say 10 years ago, 2014, to help me understand maybe what I could do to honor Keanu at the time, a rescue Akita, and understand what typical questions parents have. Are you hurting? How can I help you better? And that opened the door for me to understand, it was my intuition that guided me, but after that session with that individual who had a program, I signed up. And that was my introduction to understanding what it is and how to work with it. And then over the years, I've worked with several different animal communicators, several different programs, starting to expand my knowledge and my conversations. And it was on again, off again, but always with the idea that this is something, as time has gone on, Joanne, that I wanted to help others learn, because it's such an amazing way to communicate, and it's not that hard.
Oh, that brings hope to many who's going to be listening to you that it's not that hard. But it sounds as if you've been through a bit of a journey yourself, working out how to communicate with animals in the way that you can relate to. I suppose we're all different, aren't we? So
We are.
what would you say with regards to the deep speak? What would you say is the thinking behind deep speak, and what has it helped you with regards to the way that you are communicating with your animals?
So deep speak as a whole, joining you through Ella, of course, has shown me that there's two sides to the conversation. Now, as human beings, we get that, but we don't always think about that with our animals. It's Ella, why are you chewing? Ella, why are you doing this? And so usually the questions are health related, behavioral, food. This experience through Deep Speak has helped me to understand the animal's perspective, the questions, the way they're posed. And hey, we can talk all day long. It doesn't always have to be about an issue. Does that make sense? It's
Yes.
about, the sun is incredibly beautiful this morning, Ella. How do you feel about the sunrise? And I may get images. I have chills. I may get images. I may hear sounds. That's something that parents have to realize. They need to understand and start to practice and understand how they're receiving information from their animal. You don't always hear their voices, right? You
Oh.
feel using your own senses. And I intuitively was doing some of that, but it's incredibly helpful. This has opened the door for me to understand how it all works, to really approach the questions with the childlike curiosity. I wonder if Ella would love the beach. I love the beach. Would Ella love the beach? And start to talk to her about those things.
So using the example that you've just given us about Ella and the beach, it's like if when you first get your puppy and if you love the beach, it's only natural to want her to enjoy the beach, the water, going in there, swimming, running along the beach. And so the assumption almost is she's gonna love it. And in your excitement, you might, even throw Ella, let's say, near the water, and how do you know if she likes it? So with the deep speak, what do you think about the way it's phrased? Because I believe that this is what's unique about the way that the questions are being phrased, because often in animal communication, in our kind of traditional way of learning, it's us asking our animals the question. So it could be you saying to Ella, you know, would you like to go to the beach? What's your favorite activity? So the deep speak questions are phrased where it's our animals presenting the question to us. So with Ella's question, it would be phrased in such a way that she may be saying to you, ask me what I like about the beach. Ask me what I feel nervous about when I'm near water. How does that change the communication between you and Ella when the question is actually her asking her inviting you to ask her that question?
It becomes a true two-way conversation. It's not me asking the question, it's Ella asking me the question. In human communication, just as you and I are talking, you're asking me, I'm asking you. Why would that be different with an animal? But until I came to this program and Deep Speak, I had never thought of it that way, interestingly enough. And
Mm.
today, Ella will come to me with her questions on her own. She will get my attention, and there will be, Mom, let's go outside and play. Or, Mom, how are you feeling today? Animals reflect our emotions. So you're absolutely right. All the time and effort and studying, there has never been that flip that says, let the animals ask us. And that's the beauty of this. It's a full communication, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's two-sided, not one-sided.
Yes. And it helps us to appreciate that they have questions. They would like to initiate topics of conversations. And to me, they would love to choose conversations that light them up, or conversations where they have something on their mind that they would like to bring to our attention, as opposed to waiting for us to know the right questions to ask them. So knowing this style of questioning, where we are open to the animals presenting the questions to us, how do you think that alleviates the pressure of getting the right answers? Because often in our animal communication learning, our stumbling block is that we're afraid of getting it wrong, or that we get nothing.
So I've been working through that myself. And I think the biggest challenge for pet parents as they start to work through this process is to have no expectations, right? Drop your expectations, and what you receive is your springboard for continuing the conversation. Granted, that's easier said than done, but if you center yourself and speak from the heart and not from the mind, it becomes a little easier to know. In the beginning, maybe ask questions that you can validate to help build that confidence. But as you go forward, as I've gone forward, I've learned there's 3 words that I've learned that my animals in spirit have really driven home for me. And it's, Mom, trust the process, trust the information you're getting. And those words ring true for me every day. And if I get off balance a little bit and I get information from either Kody or Ella or any of my other animals in spirit, I have to stop and move from here to being heart-centered and going, okay, Joe, I may not like the answer, but that's the answer. And sometimes that's hard. No kidding, but it makes a difference because Ella's been heard.
Beautiful. Thank you for the reminder. So imagine for the moment a pet parent, an animal communication enthusiast, animal lovers coming across the Deep Speak cards, and they come to Ella's question and also Kody's question, and they have the card and they read the question. What would you like to impart to them in terms of how can they, if they feel unsure, almost like I've read the question, I can see Ella or I can see Kody, but I don't know how to start with this exercise, what would you advise them?
They could reach out if they needed some help from me to validate. Maybe they got a piece of information, and I believe that's part of the program, if I'm not mistaken, that we're available to help pet parents. And when you get that validation, it helps to build the confidence. And so don't be afraid. Ask the question. You have to be in the right, you have to be calm and centered, right? You have to have that connection. And it's important for pet parents as they will learn to build that consciousness, to build that centering. As you've always taught us, Joe, there's 3 components. There's a framework. And those are all very, very important. But for pet parents, if you're not sure, go in through your heart, ask the question. And if you would like some validation, come to me. Let me know. and I can help with that.
That's absolutely correct. Part of what we offer when you access these deep speak cards is that you will have 30 days where you can reach out. And that's the clue. Cheryl, thank you so much for bringing this up, because often when we learn animal communication, it can be such a private, and then it becomes almost isolated experience, because we might think, I'm not sure. I don't want people to think I'm silly. So I'll go off and look at these online courses or workshops or videos, and we do it on our own. Whereas there is a huge community that you can access, one of it being ours. So one of the arrangements that we've made is that the animal companions in the Deep Speak card deck, their human is willing and prepared for the 30 days for you to reach out. So literally, as Cheryl said, if you come across Kody or Ella and you suddenly get into a bit of a blank and you don't know how to start, then reach out to the community where you can access our help. So Cheryl, finally, what are some of the tips? So imagine yourself at the beginning of your animal communication journey. Because sometimes when we've come so far, we almost forget what we'll be thinking, what we'll be feeling. What was it like when we first thought about, can I hear animals? Can I talk to my animals? So if you go back to that time, what would it have been like for you if you had discovered the Deep Speak cards?
Oh gosh. Well, for one thing, it would have been a whole lot easier, because how to pose the question makes all the difference in the world. And on top of that, asking 3 or 4 questions at once of an animal is really no different than a human. You can't go in with 4 questions. You have to have the conversation. And it's about understanding that your style may be a little different, right? Everyone has their own style. In the early days, I was trying to adapt to the style of the folks I was training with. And I found out over time, I'm me. And while I have my own style and my own way, but with Deep Speak, you automatically have a platform to start with. There are no blank canvases. I had blank canvases and I struggled. Deep Speak takes that barrier away and gives the questions. And if you want to tweak it a little bit because your style's a little bit different, it's really the core conversation that you're looking for and the responses. And also understand that it's about energy, it's about your sensory components. You can sense, you can feel, you can hear, you can taste. And don't be surprised if some of that comes out. I wasn't trained that way initially. And so if I had an emotion, maybe one of my animals was incredibly sad for some reason, I could feel that in my stomach, for example. I've been able to taste like the salt from the beach when we're talking about the beach, the salt air. So don't be surprised as you work through the deep speak process and the cards that you're going to have most likely some sensory feelings of your own. And those will translate and help practice every day. Use your deck every day, flip up a card and start the conversation. And what I do is I carry it throughout the day. It could be little snippets, and you'd be amazed. This is real, folks. It's real, and it's very rewarding. And when there are situations that come up in life, as they always do, where there may be some difficult situations in front of you, um, a terminal diagnosis or end of life. Why don't we talk about that before we get there? We all know that at some point we're going to go back to spirit. Our animals are no different. Have the conversation early on so you know what's going on when the time comes. My animals are my world. They're yes, I have kids and they're grown, but they're my kids. They're my family. I even have my husband talks to the birds and the trees, and he's been amazed at just the different things with Ella and Kody. Kody was a rehome. He was fear aggressive, and working with him through these kinds of I wish I had this level of knowledge when I had Kody, but I have him now. And he encouraged me to become a part of the group. So the group could help me expand. But practice every day. And really it doesn't become a practice, it becomes a way of life, in my opinion. It's who we are.
I love that. Let's reframe the word practice to become a way of life. And Cheryl, listening to you, I know that whoever comes across this video will feel very reassured, very excited, and also perhaps it will give them this sense of renewed enthusiasm for coming into animal communication, knowing that this can be a different angle, a fresh new angle for having conversations. So if you are interested in chatting or meeting Ella and Kody in spirit through the Deep Speak cards, they are 2 of the 44 animals featured in the card deck, and they are extremely excited about meeting you, knowing that when you enter into the world of Deep Speak, you will have a community that you can reach out to and share the communications that come through from these animals. So thank you so much, Cheryl, for sharing your experiences and insights. It's really been wonderful hearing from you about your journey with the Deep Speak cards.
Thank you for having myself, Ella, and Kody to be a part of this awesome project. And everyone, it is take that leap of faith. Bring your childlike wonder, bring your curiosity. It will make a difference in your life. Thank you.
Thank you.